So returning to that story of reports of another inquest into the disappearance of Azaria Chamberlain. For more, Azaria's father, Dr. Michael Chamberlain, joins us now on the phone. Michael Chamberlain, good morning and thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Is it you and your former wife who are behind moves to try and have another inquest, a final inquest, to finally declare that your child was taken by a dingo?
Well, yes, that's absolutely correct.
And for how long have you been pushing to achieve this?
Well, I think since the rather poor inquest that we had to face in 1995, which was the third inquest brought down by John Lowndes, and the result of that was really quite appalling, and we were very upset.
The result of that was an open verdict. What did that mean for you? Why did that upset you so much?
Well, it really was against the spirit of the finding of the Royal Commission, and particularly the appeal court in the Northern Territory by 3 federal court judges, which resoundingly destroyed that third inquest, even though the third inquest came later. I mean, the third inquest problem was that it tried to reopen the case and make us, Lindy and myself, look like we might have still had something to do with it.
Do you have a view as to why the NT coroner, John Lowndes, returned that open verdict?
Well, I don't think he did very. Look, I don't want to create a problem here in that I'm going to get booked for contempt of court, but I just don't think he did his homework, and I don't think he relied very strongly on what the federal court judges said or the Royal Commission finding. I don't think he was not at all interested in the dingo evidence, as the second inquest wasn't either. And this is just a biased view, in my view, trying to protect certain Northern Territory interests in tourism.
Michael Chamberlain, why does it matter to you so much now still, when I would imagine there wouldn't be a right-thinking person around who would think for a moment that your child wasn't taken by a dingo after everything that's been examined, after the Royal Commission, after the exoneration of you and your former wife? Why does that open finding still trouble you so much?
Well, I admire your faith and your trust and your comments, but the thing is that there are people out there still having a shot at us, and there always will be, but when you get comedians having a go at us like Barry Humphries still in America, that really causes a big ache and annoyance, and I just think that the truth is the truth, and it's got to be taken seriously, and I think there are a few people out there who still don't, including a number of Northern Territory people who ought to know better.
So in part, is this then about trying to, if you like, change the thinking of some people in the Northern Territory?
It's really to establish the truth beyond all doubt, and in the end to provide protection for us as a family, for our friends, and for all those in Australia who've supported us, so that people still can't go around saying that either myself or Lindy or anyone else for that matter was responsible for Azaria's death, and that actually QED, a dingo took her, and that's it. You can't accuse any people about it anymore.
I guess, though, Michael Chamberlain, because this has been just such a significant story in Australia's recent history, and an event that, as you're well aware of, divided public opinion and was so much discussed for so long, you'll never shut down commentary on it completely if that is in part what you're hoping to achieve with a new inquest.
Yeah, I recognise that, but at least it will formally close the case, and anybody who does want to poke their head up and make outrageous claims, we are protected by those outrageous claims and don't have to suffer the indignity of that stupidity. Dr.
Michael Chamberlain, do you still live with this loss of your daughter every day, or have you managed to cope with it a little better as the years have gone on?
Look, you get used to it, but you never get over it, and that's the thing. And while this case is still open, and while we have to keep fighting, of course you won't forget about it. But I have a deep, abiding regard for my daughter, obviously, and I want the truth for her to be told so that her spirit can rest.
Dr. Chamberlain, when do you imagine this inquest might get started?
Well, look, I haven't been formally told of any of this stuff. I do know that matters are afoot on it, but I've been told that it'll probably start early next year.
A pleasure to talk to you this morning, Dr. Chamberlain. Thanks so much for your time.
Well, thank you.